Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Sorry, I'm making sure I have everything before I get going here. I am Whitney. I am the freckled arms and black gloves behind Cheeky Goat Soapery, although I'm putting my nice little arm protector things on that Lisa gave me. Tonight I'm going to be doing yet another Woodgrain soap because the internet loved it, and I like them, and I think they're pretty, and I'm trying to do some kind of fun new colors and patterns and things, and so I figured it would be fun to show another one of these. So now that I have my armies on, no more freckles, all you can see is my cool sleeve things from Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Tonight I'm going to be doing lavender and cedar. I keep on calling it lavender and cedar wood, which it doesn't say wood behind the cedar, but in my head it does. So from Brambleberry. It smells really nice. It's a nice, I'm going to call it more unisex. It's not really masculine. It's not super feminine. It's just a nice smell. And I did a kind of a more complicated wood grain the other day. This one I'm going to be doing in purples. You can see this. So here are the purples, white, and then some black, just for a little bit of interest. So that's the colors. This is our goat milk. This is our lye solution. That's our cooled oils, and then that's our fragrance oil. So let's make some soap. So it is evening here. I've actually got my light. I'm not sure if you can see it really that well. And I'm gonna check extra. Yeah, okay, it's good. I made some videos the other day, and I had put my my mount down, and when I put it back up, apparently it was a little bit crooked. So all of my videos I made that day were a little tilted, and I probably noticed it more than you guys did, but it bothered me. I don't even think I've released the videos. No, I know I haven't released the videos for some of these yet, but it bugs me. It's there, so I'm trying very hard to make sure that's not the case. Speaking of things that bug me, hello, extra organic bits of shea butter. Please leave the soap. Thank you very much. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, hi, hello. I should probably make one of those cool intros. Like I see a lot of other makers have these nice intros, and it has our faces, and it has, you know, our company names, and I just show my company name and go to work, which is mostly laziness. If I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm just lazy, and I you know, and putting on, you know, doing a custom doing a custom, you know, intro every soap is kind of tough. And then I don't know, each soap kind of has its own flavor and feeling, so then I feel weird like giving like a generic, I don't know. I'm still working on it. So if you have suggestions or ideas, I am open to them. You can drop them in the comments. So I have not used this fragrance yet, but it says it behaves well. Do I risk it? Let's just do our colors first. I'm not going to be quite that ballsy. Brambleberry is amazing. They do really good testing, but I tend to have slightly different results than their testing, because I'm, you know, every recipe is different. Everything can and will change. So I don't like to, until I've used it in my recipe, I don't like to play games with soap that I need to behave, because I'm going to be doing something that takes a little longer to make. I mean, I can do this in a hurry, so if it does start to hurry up, I can make that happen. But it's definitely better if I have the time to play. Which I'm not sure if you have not yet seen it. I've done a wood grain soap, which was scented in tobacco vanilla, which is from Muddy Soap Co., which is a naughty fragrance. It goes very, very quick. So I don't have time to do all these colors and all that stuff, because it goes fast and you have to like just get it in the mold. So hopefully this one will be another one like I did the other night with the pickled blue wood, which for me, that was just the other day. For you guys, it might be like, I don't know, weeks from by the time you see this, if ever. Which I really liked it. It came out really nice. It looked good. What is bothering me over here? Sorry. It's weird wearing these sleeves because I'm not totally used to them yet. So it's a little itchy sometimes. I'm like, oh God, is that, it's not soap. It's just itchy. All right. So anyway, we're going to do apparently all black everywhere here. Just a small amount in the black and the white. I initially kind of thought about doing those as accent colors, but I mean like accent mica lines, but I think a little bit of black and white kind of help colors pop. My late father, who never made soap with me, unfortunately. He was very sick by the time I started to really get into this, and that was not something that he was able to do, although he loved to talk about it and, you know, participate in all my weird things I was doing. You know, he used to always tell me when I would try to pick out colors, I'm like, Dad, what colors should I do? And he's like, white is the best, you know, color in art because it highlights all the colors around it. And, you know, I don't know, I feel 100% that's right because, you know, again, Dad wasn't an artist, but he has a good point. And it does tend to, be really nice at showing off variances. So like in this case, I've got some purples and I've got some dark purples and I've got kind of a silvery purple. So I want those to show up. So sometimes having that white in there will help it pop. Same for the black. It's not anything more design specific than that. So let's get these guys in. And I chose purples because lavender, and I wanted to do a purpley one. I have another purple one that I haven't shared yet that I did that I really liked, but it kind of went woodsy on me because I used a fragrance that discolors. But it's really pretty. And but I wanted one that wouldn't discolor, so I actually kept the brighter, you know, purples. So that's why I chose that fragrance. And come on you. I'm actually, you know, it's funny, I was just talking to a girlfriend of mine who is a tremendous fan of my soap and talking about, you know, colors and what they do and how they behave and what changes in soap. And one of the things that she brought up, because she's somebody who is awesome, her name's Alicia. Hi Alicia, if you're watching this, I doubt you ever will, but if you are, I love you. We work together. And she's like, oh, you know, I like this one bar you made, but it's a little leaky. I'm like, what do you mean leaky? And it was a bar where I had done a little bit of an experiment, and I had ended up using the activated charcoal as the mica line. And she's like, the soap is great, smells great, it's great to use, but that activated charcoal mica line tends to go for walks in the shower, and I don't like that. And I was like, oh God. But it just made me kind of think of, you know, colors and how I use them and what they all work together and how, you know, that impacts the end user, which is, you know, in this case her, but sometimes just friends. And she kind of cracked me up because she's like, well, you know, everyone says it's too pretty to use, but I use it. And I'm like, I'm so glad you use it. But it just made me kind of wonder, you know, how many people have that soap and, you know, had that happen and didn't tell me, or maybe didn't realize it's not supposed to be so aggressively black down the side of their shower with the, you know, the activated charcoal. All right, that all looks good. Let's get our fragrance in. We get one more. You guys, are you clean? You're clean-ish. So it just was a good mindful thing for me to remember that, you know, I'm not the end user, which I think is something that's hard for a lot of soap makers to visualize, especially when you start. You know, you make stuff that you like. You don't make stuff that you don't like, because why would you be making it? But as you grow as a soap maker, what I find tends to happen is that you are you know, forced to learn what your audience likes, whatever that might be. And a great example of that for me would be patchouli. It's not my favorite. Don't particularly like it. And you know, if I had it my way, everything would be scented in like pink grapefruit and lemon and clean linen and smells like that, which, you know, I really enjoy, but that doesn't mean everybody else enjoys them. So I had to, you know, when I got serious about a year ago about, you know, making this a real business, not just something that I kind of sort of did on the side and, you know, basically funded my fragrance oil buying addiction. Hi, Brambleberry, nice to see you. They get me every time with those sales, man, every time. Anyway, so, and that was something I had to learn, that, you know, not everyone likes pink grapefruit everything, or, you know, lemon everything, or whatever. You get the idea. I had to learn that. And it was a weird lesson for me, but it's something that, you know, if you're watching my channel because you want to know how to do this stuff, like, hi, nice to see you. Thank you. If you're watching this because you just like me and you want to, you know, support me, I love you. Thank you. But, you know, if you're watching this because you're a newer soap maker and you're trying to make soap or you're trying to do these designs, you know, be ambitious with what you're willing to do and willing to try, because just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else won't love it, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. And, you know, be mindful of your end user. All right, so now I've got all of those guys there. The fragrance is behaving beautifully, just like Brambleberry said it would, which is why I buy a lot of my scents from Brambleberry. Here's our little orange towel. And I want this primarily purples. Can you guys see? Yeah, you can see there. Okay, so here is my picture. So we are going to do this primarily this kind of gray purple. And I talked about this in my blue video, my blue soap video. You don't have to mix the soap this way. Don't do the gray in the front. Let's do the gray in the front. That I'm making. It just, I find it works for me. But it's not some magical way that gets the pattern because I poured it this way. It's just what happens to work for me. It's not anything super secret squirrel special or anything. So I just figured out that it works for me and I like what it does, so I'm sharing it. Okay. And now we'll do the white. I'm picking it up a little bit to make sure the white goes down a little bit into the soap, because I don't want it just on the surface. I want it going in a little bit. Same with the black. See, that's how you know it goes down, because you make it bloop bloop. Okay. I am definitely probably going to animate that little noise I just made when I make the video later on, just so everybody's clear. All right, because I love automatopoeia. Can you guys see that? What if when I tilt it? Yeah, you can still see it. Okay. So this is the same pour. We're just going back and forth, again down the wall. Now I find when I do these pours, oh, it looks so cool. I find when I do these pours, I tend to have more on the sides than I do the middle. So when I start off making the knots, I tend to do it in the middle first. And it's really only because I'm trying to make up for the fact that as I'm slinging the soap side to side, I end up on the sides more than I do in the middle. So it's not intricate, you know, integral to the pattern. It's nothing more than just my particular idea of what it should look like. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and fill up some more. And the soap is behaving really, really well. So kudos to Brambleberry, making a fantastic fragrance. But that isn't a surprise because they're soap makers. I'm one of the bigger suppliers. I actually, you know, it's weird. Like the world is crazy right now, and I feel like, you know, a lot of us smaller, especially women-owned businesses, you know, we all need to stick together. And, you know, Brambleberry isn't super small, especially compared to other places that I often frequent, but they are still at heart a woman-owned business that started small. So, and they get a lot of hate sometimes, and I don't think that's fair. But, you know, I also am the person that hopes that I get, you know, the same level of patience and decency that I provide others. So maybe that's one of the reasons I'm a little bit more patient than sometimes people are. But I don't know, especially right now with like the holidays, like shipping was crazy. Mail was all over the place. It was really hard to get things, you know, and I don't know, there's like people in some of the soap groups, like the soap drama, people get real crazy. And a lot of it was about shipping. And I just like, guys, come on. Like, do you not know that we're in a pandemic? And I guess part of that comes out too, because, you know, I am a nurse and I'm very, very grateful for my job and what I do, and being able to have a job during this pandemic and being able to feed my family. But at the same time, I'm also a small business owner and a small maker. And yeah, USPS kind of got, you know, tanked. So maybe don't be so hateful with them. Have some patience. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Trying to put all this back in the mold instead of down the side of the mold. All right, let's change it up a little bit. Let's do the purple in the front, darker purple. Because I want that purple to really come through, and I noticed that it was getting kind of like all black and gray. Put the purple and the gray in the back. Okay. All right, and then the white. And it's kind of hard when I'm doing this pour, because in the back of my head, I always save a little bit of soap because I'm going to need it to do the top, right? Like I want to do a cool top. And yeah, you don't see the tops with these. So it gets kind of tricky because I want to save for something that's not going to happen. All right, there we go. It is starting to, you know, get a little more thick. So I'm just trying to make sure I have good looking knots in there while I'm pushing it over. If you watch the other videos, then you'll know the importance of making sure it pushes over. All right, now let's put you into this picture. And this will be the last pour. So whatever I don't use here will go into molds. This is such a nice smell. I actually really like it better in the soap than I did out of the bottle, which is a great reminder for me to not just judge things out of the bottle. I don't know, it's nice. It's got a nice woodsy smell to it, but it's not, I don't know, woodsy sometimes can be one of those smells that are a little overwhelming. And I don't want to smell like I went outside and literally hugged the trees. I like the trees, but I don't need to hug them all that much. So this has a nice blend of both. I almost don't really get the lavender, aside like the green herbally part that lavender can have. Like in the lavender and mint soaps that I make, where it's not like floral grandma lavender, it's like that green, bright undertone, and I dig that a lot. That's really nice. So put the rest of you in the mold, or not in the mold, in the pitcher. So what I'll do with this end top bit is I'll probably do kind of an ITP, which just means in the pot swirl. It's not anything fancy. You know, soapers love our acronyms. And they can be very confusing, you know, CP and HP and CPOP and ITP and WPW. Like, I can keep on going. It's silly to do it, but you get the idea. So I don't mean to confuse you by using those. It's just habit, really, if we're going to be real. Okay. And this is very workable still. It's definitely getting, like I mentioned a minute ago, it's gaining in its trace. It's definitely towards a more medium trace. So when you have a soap that starts to get a little thicker like this one is, and you still want to do kind of an intricate design, just wiggle it a little. I'm gonna, actually, I don't want that white to get too mixed in. So did that one first. Now we'll add in the white, and I'll give it another swirl. And all that does is it just stops the soap from starting to set up. So if you find that your soap is starting to set up and you're trying to do a pour, then, you know, make your life easier and just wiggle it a little bit. It's just that simple. I mean, obviously, of course, you know, there's always soaps that are, you know, soap on a stick from the fragrance, or maybe soap too hot, or there's a million reasons that happens. But for the most part, if something like that's happening, just, you know, don't be afraid to. There we go. Don't be afraid to give it a little wiggly wiggle. All right, so let's pour the last of this. I'll have a little bit left over to put into some sample molds, which will be nice. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off of the slant, because it's not slanting anymore anyway. So a couple of these bars may be a little muddier versus the real crisp lines because of how I mix this in. But they will still be interesting. They'll still look nice. They just will look a little less crisp. Okay. Let me see about how much. Oh, see, I'm getting better. If you're new to the channel and you don't know why I'm saying that, I have a terrible habit of overfilling my mold. I mean, just beyond any reason whatsoever. It's because I have, just trying to smooth this in. It's because I have a planned overflow. Like, I want more soap than can fit in this mold because I use it to fill samples, my little sample molds. But it makes for some messy soaping sometimes. So that one more bang. I just feel like, it's just darker. Okay. All right, so now that's gonna C-pop, which means it goes in the oven at 170 degrees. Actually, I turn the oven on to 170 degrees, and then I turn the oven off, and I turn the oven light on, and then I put my soap in there overnight usually, because I like to make soap so I don't have to be staring at it all day. I like to make it so I can cut it in the morning, because I have the willpower of a 4-year-old, and I can say that because I have a 4-year-old. So I want to cut it, I want to see it, so it's better if it just goes to bed. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. Have a good evening.
So if you've watched my other videos on how to cut this technique, it shouldn't be a surprise to you. So basically, I'm just cutting it. There's the inside. I'm just cutting it about as tall as my bars would normally be. Now, because of the mold I'm using and how tall those are, I will have a little bit extra, which I'm gonna cut vertically so I can show you guys the inside of it again. Clean that off. Anyway, so I just cut it into what the actual bar size will be, and then I flip it forward. So you're cutting from the top down. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second here. Let me get these guys out. And after I do this, I actually end up taking some bars and piping on them, which you'll see some of those pictures at the end here. And unfortunately, I had some camera malfunctions, and I did not get that on camera to show all of you. But that's basically all I do after this. So I'm obviously struggling here for a second. Anyway, so all I do is that I cut this from the top down, and that gives that really nice wood grain look. And then the rest of the time, you just either can pipe on them if you want. I had a lot of people asking me, you know, what if you wanted to do a wood grain with roses? Then you just pipe around them. I made the roses during a big piping session a while ago, and then just piped the leaves and the little side pieces on, and obviously put the rose in the middle of it. So anyway, I hope you enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this and show you some pictures of what the soap looks like. Thanks for watching.